I'm Cynthia Cox with Cox & Associates CPAs LLC, and this is the Nonprofit Minute. Let's talk about the subject of cash reserves. Should you, as a nonprofit organization, have cash reserves? Absolutely, you need to have cash that is put aside for a rainy day. Well, when do we see that happen? I mean, what's really going to affect you? Because after all, you don't have a lot of money, and putting money aside is a hardship. Well, here in Houston, we had Hurricane Ike. And so for my churches, there were actually 1 to 2 Sundays they couldn't meet. In the north, I have churches that dealt with snow, and they literally had Sundays lost because of snow days. So all over the country, we've had natural events that have stopped either our event, if we're a nonprofit, or a service, if we're a church, and that money is never regained. People don't come back and give the money that was expected at that event or that church service later on. So what do? That's where cash reserves need to come into play. There are 2 approaches that you can take when trying to determine what your cash reserve should look like. First is if you want to set aside, say, 6 months of operating expenses. A second approach would be to set aside 12 months of debt payments in a reserve account. So how do you get from no reserves to 6 months of operating expenses or 12 months of debt payments? Most nonprofits cannot just go from A to point B very easily. If you'll watch the YouTube video I did on the book The Slight Edge, you can find it on my YouTube channel or on my website under video blogs. The book talks about doing things over time consistently to create success. If you would put back a certain amount of money each month, before you know it, you'll have the 6 month of operating expenses put in a reserve account. So don't try to start with having the whole amount in a reserve account or having 3 months in a reserve account. Find out how much you can afford to put per month and just start doing that consistently over time so that you have your reserves and you're prepared for a rainy day, a snow day, a bad economy, whatever happens. Okay, I'm about to meddle. The truth is, the tone starts at the top. We as leaders have to model good financial practices in order for us to teach our organization and the people within our organization how to develop and use those good practices, like having cash reserves. I'm Cynthia Cox with Cox & Associates CPAs LLC, and we look forward to serving you and continuing this conversation.